Imagine waiting for months, wait so long that you miss the birth of your first child, for a passport that barely opens doors versus one that's practically handed to you at your doorstep and coincidentally unlocks most of the world. In my right hand is a Nigerian passport, and a quick Google search will tell you it's the 17th weakest passport on earth. On my left hand, is a British passport. It's the 6th strongest passport on earth. Oh yes, it unlocks 186 countries. Wow, this one is about 40 something countries. I'm not sure now. But for whatever reason, it's much harder and much more expensive to get your hands on one of these as compared to this.
How? How are you telling me this?
Typically, you'd think or you'd believe the more valuable passport, the stronger one should be, the more expensive one, the harder one to get, yes? Oh well. Surprise, surprise. So like I always do, I will share my story on the experience on getting both passports with you guys. Like I share every other stories. My name is Motayo, and I'll start with this big boy right here. So I needed to leave Nigeria and my passport had expired, so I needed to get a new one, which was this one. Apparently, around the time I needed to apply for a new passport, for whatever reason, the NIN, which is the National Identity Number, I'm sure I'm correct, hopefully, had been integrated with the passports. So what that means is you have to first get your NIN sorted out before you are even able to apply for a passport. Then I applied for my NIN, but I was told I had to do it with my initial name or with my old name that was on my previous passport. Then when the number comes out, then I applied to change the name on the NIN, which I did. I don't know why I gave Nigeria that grace that this was supposed to be smooth, like things were supposed to happen. It took exactly 5 months. 5 months before my NIN was sorted out. And in that 5 months, I literally paid everyone I came across, everyone, because around that time, my wife was already pregnant. She was in London and I was running out of time. I had to be in London. If I wasn't going to be there while she was pregnant, at least I should be able to make it for the delivery of my child. It was one story after the other. The system crashed. The system was crashing every day. So for whatever reason, it was impossible to fix my NIN. I would call the office in the state I was living. I would call the head office. I would call the headquarters in Abuja, a different state entirely. And every time I made those calls, I paid someone. So if I'm calling head office, it's probably asking for 20,000 naira. If I'm calling the regional head office in my state, they're probably asking for 10,000 naira. By the time the NIN was ready, I had spent about 100,000 naira just to get the NIN. At the time, 100,000 naira at the exchange rate at the time was about, yeah, that's much better now. So at the time, 100,000 naira was 110 pounds. So 110 pounds had already been spent and I've not even applied for my passport yet. So now I finally got the NIN, thanks to Lord Jesus. It was time to apply for my passport. I went online to apply, and the date that was assigned to me, which was the date I was supposed to come for capturing, was exactly 3 months from the day I made that application, which didn't make sense to me. I had waited almost 6 months already to get my NIN, so I'll be able to apply for my passport. Now I have the NIN, now I've applied for the passport, or applied to be able to come, because you have to go to offices and capture and a lot of those things. And it was 3 months. Like, what's happening? But then it was always, oh, there is a backlog. There's a lot of, they at some point they said they ran out of paper. They ran out of, oh my God. Oh, I was like, I was not going to wait for 3 months. Why should a passport take almost a year to get? So I called a couple of people that, okay, you know what, I'm willing to pay any amount. I need this to be fast tracked. I needed to be in London as soon as possible. So I was given someone's number, someone that worked in the passport office, and I was charged 200,000 naira, which was fine at the time. Like, and at the time, 200,000 naira was about 220 pounds with the exchange rate at the time. So that's about 220 pounds plus 110 pounds. That's about, sorry, my maths is bad. That's about 330 pounds, I believe, spent already. And I've not even gotten a date to appear for capturing. I paid the 200,000 naira for the capturing date to be fast tracked. Then it was then I was told, I lived in the southwestern part of Nigeria, Ibadan to be precise, and I was literally told the only place I could go for capturing, because I was changing my name or something, there was one weird excuse. The only place I could go was the capital of the country, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the capital, Abuja. That was the only place. If I was to drive, it was about 12 hours drive from where I lived to Abuja. And the city I lived, the airport was running maybe just 2 days in a week. So it was a situation where if I finally get a date, I would have to drive from Ibadan to Lagos, then take a flight from Lagos to Abuja to go for capturing. I was like, okay, it's fine. Just let me know when I can come for this capturing. Just give me a date. Then days started going by. I didn't hear from no one, not from the government officials, not from the person I had paid to, no one. I started calling like, bro, what's happening? I need this thing to be done. I paid you 200,000 naira to fast track. It's called fast tracking for a reason. Then finally, out of the blues, he called me one evening. I think it was around 7 p.m. And he literally said, can you be in Abuja 8 a.m. tomorrow? In my mind, I'm like, I didn't say anything to him because I was in a very desperate place because I needed to be out of Nigeria. I was like, okay, no problem. Then I ended the call. Instantly, I booked my flight, which at the time costed me about 125,000 return ticket to go to Abuja and come back. So instantly that night, I drove to. Now, the drive from my city to Lagos, where I was going to take my flight, was about 2 hours drive. I drove to Lagos, went to sleep. Then first thing in the morning, I boarded the plane and flew to Abuja. Now, the flights, as I said, 125,000 at the time, that's about 120 something pounds, plus the 330 pounds initial that we already spent. That's about 450 pounds. I don't know if I'm correct, but you guys can just do the maths. I don't care. I'm bad with mathematics. But yeah, I got to Abuja, and the first thing, immediately I got to Abuja, I called this guy, like, hello, I just touched down. Then I think he was trying to bullshit me to see how I'd react. And I was like, oh, he's so sorry that the person that was supposed to attend to me won't be in the office today. That can I go and come back? I'm like, are you fucking mad? I just flew from Lagos to Abuja. And do you think I live in Abuja? Do you think I'm plucking money from the tree? What nonsense are you saying? So I think when he saw my reaction, he saw this person is okay, he's not having it. So I was like, oh, I'm just kidding. Oh, you better be kidding. Then I went to his office, which was the headquarters of the wherever place this thing is being printed in Abuja. Just to get my capturing done, I had to move from one end of the country to another end of the country. But it's fine. Just let me get this passport and leave your country for you people. Remember, I got there, he told me to get there at 8 a.m. I waited till 3 p.m. No. I think it was around 12. Then I went to meet him because it was a lot of us in the waiting area. It was a lot of people that were waiting to get their passport, a lot of frustrated people. So I went to meet this man in his office, like, what's going on? It's 12. What's going on? I need this thing done. I've been here. How long do I have to now, like, still spend the night in Abuja? My flight is for that same day to go back to Lagos. So if I'm going to spend the night in Abuja, then I have to pay for hotels and all. I'm spending a lot of money already. Then it was like, yeah, he's trying. That he was chatting a whole lot of bullshit, a whole lot of nonsense, and I was already frustrated. Why should the process of getting a passport be this difficult? Why should it be this exhausting? The faces of the people in the waiting room were People were angry, people were hungry, people were disgusted, and it was like, why does it have to be like this? So when I noticed that this man was going to waste my time, was going to waste my money, then I made some calls to some of my friends that I know they have, and which is something I didn't want to do in the first place because I didn't want to disturb anyone, which was why I paid the money. Like, I hate begging people for favors, but I had to do it at the end of the day. So I called someone that, oh, your dad works in so place, blah blah blah. Can you call someone? I'm currently in this office and I need my thingy to be done, blah blah blah. Immediately I made that call. The time I made that call was already going to around 1 p.m. On God, it wasn't up to max 20 minutes. Someone came into the waiting area and said, sorry, who is Mr. Olayiwola David, blah, blah, blah. And I said, that's me. Do you know these people took me to an entirely different place or in that whole establishment? This other place I was taken to felt like a 7-star hotel. And it was part of it was a different place entirely, heavily guarded. It was, I think that's where maybe the DIG or whatever they're called, that's basically where the office is. And it was literally just about 4-5 people that were waiting. In like 10 minutes of getting there, I was already in the office doing my capturing and all of that. And it was just mind-boggling for me, which is one of the reasons I don't feel comfortable living in Nigeria, that there are hundreds of people, or there were hundreds of people waiting in the waiting area, and it was slow. People were leaving, people were being told to go and come back, and making a call, I'm literally just saying, there were no people, like there were computers. These people were just chilling in AC. But that's by the way. I did my capturing and I was able to get on my flight back to Lagos, picked up my car at the airport, then drove back to Ibadan. And if you do the calculation of how much I'd spent and all of this, aside the money, aside the time, the stress, those offices are part of the most stressful places you'd be in your whole life. And for women, I think, I don't know, I see videos online where women have been told they use blade to cut their eyelashes and all of that. But that's by the way. So now I've done my capturing, I've spent all this money. Now I'm waiting for my passport. It's like, okay, where is my passport? When is this passport going to come out? It was so bad that I had to share personal informations or personal messages with this immigration officer that was in charge of my passport. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it got for me to be able to get my passport. That this is not fair. I've paid you. I've had to fly. Just this, first of all of this are not necessary, but I've had to do everything that should be done just so I can get this passport. But finally, after all the back and forth, I finally got my passport. But then I'd waited months. I'd waited months before I could lay my hands on the passport, which I finally did. I applied for my UK visa, which then took another 5 months. Long story short, my son had been born and it'd been 8 months old before I laid my eyes on him. Thanks to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, thanks to them making everything a living hell just to get a hold of a passport. Now, to this one right here, the process of getting this passport, this is my son's passport, by the way, this is not mine. And the process of getting this was probably the easiest thing I've ever experienced in my life when it comes to documentations and whenever it has to do with government, basically. And I think we did it almost immediately I got to this country because my wife couldn't be bothered. She just had a child, so that was the last thing on her mind. So immediately I got to this country, we did apply for it, and it was so seamless. And you would think that a passport this strong, I will share the process of getting it in a bit, but first off, let me get this out of the way. You think if there's any passport that it should be tedious to get, it should be this one. But guess what? The process of getting this passport, you literally don't, okay, at least for my son, I don't know what the process is like for adults. The process of getting this one, literally go to the post office, which post offices are everywhere. There is literally one about 1 minute, 2 minutes walk from me. Pick up the, the paper, you can do it online, but for whatever reason, my wife was not interested in doing it online. Pick up the paper, this thing, get your son's passport photograph, confirm his identity, birth certificate, and all of those things. Submit it, take it back to the, to the post office, and pay, I think it was about £65. And nothing, you need one person to confirm your, and the person has to be a professional, maybe an accountant or someone that works with the NHS, like someone in the system to confirm your applications. Like it can be your friend, literally just someone in the workforce, accountants, doctor, any of those. And within 2 to 3 weeks, you would get a mail at your door. A mailman will bring your passport to your house. A mailman. Oh man. Why does everything with these people have to be unbearable? Why? It does not make any sense whatsoever. It's like 2 passports. One, they say it's a symbol of privilege and power, and you'd hear that this one, it's a symbol of struggle and frustration. And it's crazy that even before getting to the passport, the process, you'd already start feeling that struggle and frustration before you even lay your hands on the passport. It's mind scattering. It's busting my head. And speaking of affordability, yes, let's say my process was more complicated because I needed to change my name and all of those things, and apparently it could only be done at the head office. It doesn't make sense, but let's just move away from that. The cost of getting this, I mentioned that this one is about £65. I think for adults it's probably more expensive, maybe £90 or thereabout. You might, I don't know, you might want to confirm that for yourself. But the cost of getting one of this, when you compare it to the minimum wage in a country, I think the minimum wage in the United Kingdom is about £9 per hour. So if the minimum wage in this country is £9 per hour, that means for every working citizen, this is crazy affordable. Like you can easily get this. For this one, the cost of getting one, let's forget about my own situation now. Let's say I was in a complicated situation because I changed my name, which I believe which I believe shouldn't have been that complicated. But I've accepted my fate. The cost of getting one of this is at least 50,000 naira on paper. When you get to Nigeria, things are not the way they are on paper. But for the purpose of this video, it costs 50,000 naira to get one of this in Nigeria. The minimum wage in Nigeria is 30-something thousand naira. I'm not sure if it's been increased, but last time I checked, the minimum wage per month, it's not per week or per day or per hour that they do in this country. The minimum wage per month in Nigeria is 30-something thousand naira, and millions of people still earn below that amount. And the cost of getting the international passport is 50,000 naira. What that means is there are millions of Nigerians that can afford their own international passport. That's what it means. So if you're going to be able to get one of these, you need to work for 2 months without touching a dime from your salary. And God help you, you don't need to travel from the southwestern part of Nigeria to the northern part of Nigeria just to get this passport. So it's like, why exactly? Why exactly did I have to go through hell to get one of this. It's bringing back memories of how I felt being stuck in Nigeria, being unable to travel to see my child, and all I was getting was pictures, videos, video calls, and I didn't want them to come to Nigeria because it was a few month old baby, and I didn't want any, because I had seen enough in Nigeria already, so I didn't want. So speaking about this now, and literally this is the first time I'm even going to talk about this whole passport thing, because tons of times people have asked me, oh, why didn't you come to London so time, what happened, blah blah blah, and I literally have not been able to answer anyone, because it's crazy to say I waited for almost a year to get a passport. It took over 5 months to sort my NIN out. Like, it's crazy. And I've seen a lot of comments on my. If you're watching to this point, please do like this video, share. I know this video is not entertaining, it's not educating, it's just me expressing myself. It's me decongesting, or what's that word again? But yeah, please do like this video, share, and subscribe. I just needed to get this out of the way. And sadly, I'm still traveling with this passport. Like, I'm stuck with this baby. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.